You start strong, you finish strong, pretty thorough effort. What's your overall assessment of the win tonight?
I thought the offense played well, but we need to do a little bit better job of making sure we have really good ball security, make sure we're just holding onto the ball a little bit better. We need to do a little bit better job of short yardage, and we need to do a little bit better job with regards to penalties. I thought the defense, other than a couple of breakdowns in the first half, I thought really did wind up playing well. That may have been their best effort of the year. And I think special teams across the board did a good job.
Alex Catron is now his last 6 kicks, sets a record today, 53-yarder. How reassuring is it for you to see him kind of get back on track and find that confidence in himself?
I'm pleased to see what he's been able to do the last few games. But remember, when he had a couple bad games early in the season, there were a lot of questions. There was never any questions about it from our end. But he's done a great job over the span of the last couple of years. He is consistent. He does do a good job. He is able to make kicks in the clutch, and he's been doing that.
And then the other Alex, Ross, has a career day passing. Over his last 5 games, he has a 12-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. What have you seen him tighten up or change or sharpen down the stretch here this season?
I think early in the season he was a little bit rusty, and he wanted to make some mistakes. I think one of the good things about Alex, he will learn from his mistakes. So when he makes a mistake, he spends a lot of time studying film, so he'll understand what he did and perhaps what he did wrong, and he'll correct that. He's certainly done a good job with that.
It was 2 years ago in this field that he made his first start. Was there any mention of that to him this week at all?
I didn't mention it. It was just kind of, 2 years ago we were a different team. I think 2 years ago they were a different team. They have a whole new coaching staff the last couple of years. So it may have been on the same field and there may have been a memory associated with that, but it wasn't the same team we played.
How do you feel about the balance you have going now? That the passing game's really taken off the last couple of weeks. You've had 3 guys go over 100 yards receiving in the last 2 weeks. D'Angelo's doing his thing. It seems to all be clicking right now.
I agree with that. Ryan. But that's the reason why short yardage, we got to do a little bit better job of gaining yards when we're there. And we can't have penalties that kind of kill drives for us. But no, I'm pleased with the way the offense is playing.
Career high passing day for you, over 350. What significance does that hold for you?
It's an honor to be able to do that, but it doesn't mean anything anymore. I always say the past is the past, and I got to move on. And hey, Jamie. And we just got to move on. We got to start focusing on the next week and take it a week at a time, and not look too far into the future, because when we're looking too far into the future, we're not focusing on what we need to focus on. And as long as we focus on what we need to focus on, we're going to be all right.
What is it about this stadium, this field for you? This is where you had your first career start 2 years ago and had 404 yards of total offense.
I guess that's it. I guess it's for me. It's the first time I got to start a college game, and coming back here, it's fun, and they're good memories for me here, because obviously looking back on my freshman year, my first start, and for me that's why it's fun to play here.
I know it wasn't the focus this week, but how much did you think about that game? How much was it brought up to you during the week?
It wasn't brought up to me at all. Not at all. Not until after this game.
Okay. The offense has really taken off the last few weeks, and you have a 12-to-1 touchdown interception ratio over your last 5 games. What's been the biggest thing that's clicked into place for this team?
We just started coming together as a team, reading defenses, and for me, it's giving them, taking what they give me. Because when I try and fit things in here and fit things in there, that's when I start throwing interceptions. And for me, it just got to keep taking what they give me.
Last week it was John Israel had a big game. Today it's Bruce and Tyrell. It's just kind of proof positive that it could be any guy any week.
It could be any guy any week. Whoever's getting open. I don't know if they saw John had a really good game last week and they wanted to cover him up, but they left a lot of other guys open.
And that last touchdown, Tyrell's sitting there wide open in the end zone. You had to buy some time to get open.
I did.
When did you first see him, and take me through that play?
Well, I was reading the defense, and it wasn't a great call for what we had. They spun to a look where we couldn't really get anything, so I just had to buy some time. I stepped up in the pocket and I rolled out to the left, and Tyrell was sitting there wide open, no one around him.
Was that a bit of a relief, because you guys had kind of stalled in the third quarter?
We did stall a little bit, but we on the sideline we talked about we got to pick it up and play like we played in the first half. And when we do that, when we pick it up and we play like we played in the first half, I don't think anyone can stop us. So we did that, and we drove down the field, and we put another touchdown in the end zone, and we kind of sealed the deal.
Bruce, 10 catches, matches your own program record. You kind of got shut out last week with John going off, but what did it mean you get back involved today and have a big game?
It felt kind of good. Coach Patton told me earlier he's going to come to me this game, so just make the plays, and that's what I did.
You and Tyrell were the first teammates to both go over 100 yards in a game. Were you aware of that, and how cool is that accomplishment?
Actually, I thought Tyrell over 100. I didn't know I did. And it's crazy because we were talking about it earlier. Like, no coastal player ever did it, and then it happened today.
What was your feeling coming off of last week when you weren't as involved in the passing game?
I wasn't upset at all. As long as I made the plays I was supposed to do, as long as we win, that's all that matters to me.
It's a career high for Alex Ross. I mean, we talked a lot about him and what he does for this offense, but what impressed you about him today?
Just how poised he stayed, on the sideline when things weren't going right, he just kept going. He was just being Alex, doing things that he normally does, and leading us.
Convincing win, 9-0. Is this about what you were hoping to accomplish today?
Yes, sir. That's it. We want to know every week.
So you and Bruce are the first teammates to both go over 100 yards in the same game receiving. How cool of a feat is that?
Very cool. I didn't even know that happened, but it felt great doing it.
Last week it was John Israel. This week it's you two. Like any week it could be anybody in this offense.
Yeah, it could. You never know who could become a big player.
When did you have a sense that you were going to have a big game today?
There's really not a sense. It's just going out and doing what we're supposed to do.
Well, that last touchdown, you were wide open. You're just waiting for that pass. What are you thinking in the end zone?
During the route, when I broke it off, I seen Alex scrambling, and then he broke the last tackle, and I was like, I'm not going to move from this spot. So I just stood there, and he launched it. And my first thought was catch it and get my foot down.
You got things started off right with an interception return for touchdown there on their first play. Just take me through that play if you could.
Basically, I was just guarding my receiver, which was the slot guy, and he ran an underneath route. Somebody got their hand on it, tipped it. He tipped it, and I just was able to make a play and just take it to the house, man. It's a great way to open up the game.
How big did that feel at the time? It was definitely a letdown for them to start the game that way.
Yeah, we kind of tried to take the momentum up. Just take it from them from the start. And that play actually took it from them, and we try to continue to take it from them. They had a few good plays, but just gotta keep playing.
That's 4 picks for you this season. How special has this senior year been for you?
It's been pretty special. That right there play meant a lot to me, man. That's my first college, pick 6, so that meant a lot to me, and I just I'm enjoying the moment, man. I'm enjoying it right now.